How is everybody doing on this wonderful, cold Monday? I'm doing extremely well. I'm blessed, and you've been on my channel for a while, and especially listening to the new series I got called Prison Stories. You know that just being home, alive, and free with all my health and strength is the biggest blessing ever. So I don't have bad days, but all my days are good. But some of my days are exceptional. And I would say today is one of those days. Now, you've been on my channel any while, or you see the preface of my channel, what my channel is based on, you probably would be saying to yourself, which is I do have a few videos on sports, but they still kind of lead off into my overall message. This is a pro true channel, a self-help channel, and it's pretty much geared toward black people because that's my people, and we seem to be in a very, very bad position, and it don't seem to be getting better. It seems to only be getting worse. And if we don't do something real soon, I just don't know where black America is going to be. Now, what I'm talking about today is the Dallas Cowboys. And sometimes I'll get a little shallow and talk about sports because I do love sports. I know my people love sports. And it could also reach traffic it also can be put in traffic that someone can see this video and lead them back to my channel, which is a solutions-based, solutions-oriented channel, once again, for black America. Anybody who listens to it, I'm eternally grateful. God bless you. Maybe you have a black friend to send it to, but it's geared toward black America. So let's get into it. As a lifelong Dallas Cowboy hater, yesterday, and also a lifelong Green Bay fan, yesterday, like I say, was just amazing. From the betting that I did, of course, I took Green Bay with the 7. Then I took another bet later on in the game, giving Dallas 13.5, which both was covered. Like I say, man, today couldn't be better. Although I love Jerry Jones and all he did, and all the opportunity that he gave a lot of black men who was out of the league, and the league had gave up on them because they had other issues outside of football, even though they were still great players. Jerry will give them a chance. That's one thing he known for. He always has done that. But we're going to talk about this current Dallas team and their issues. As you know, Dallas Cowboys hired Mike McCartney, who won a Super Bowl with Green Bay. Mike McCarthy is a coward. He's extremely trash. He's not a good coach. Only reason he won a Super Bowl and had those winning seasons was because Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't good with getting talent, free agent. He just is not he's not a coach that instills discipline. He's a cheerleader. Now, do I think he make a great offensive coordinator? Yes, I do, because he does have a good offensive mind. But he's very conservative. He have no nuts. When I say conservative, we're not talking about politics today. We talking about in the game. He can if I never liked how he played. I remember we would be up several times for Green Bay, 15 points, 2-3 scores, and all of a sudden he started playing conservative, and the team would come back. I've seen this happen so many times. And today, everybody is giving him the blame. Now, everything that I just said about Mike McCartney, clearly I'm not on his side. Clearly I don't like him. He's not a good coach, once again. But it's not his fault what happened yesterday. And if you think it's his fault, you don't have a football mind. You didn't watch the game. And that's just what it is. And I heard on a lot of these sports shows, like Undisputed, I didn't really get a chance to listen to all the sports shows, but I got a chance to check Undisputed out. And although I have a deep repugnance for Skip Bayless, he said some things that were true. And of course, they got Dallas Cowboy great Hall of Famer Michael Irvin. And here's some things he said, but of course he gonna always watch his mouth when he talk about certain players and certain people tied to that organization because, he's basically a lifelong member of that organization. And so things that he may say that go against him, he had to see these people. So I'm sure he don't want to upset nobody. But everybody is blaming Mike McCartney. Skip is saying, which is I agree with, that they need to clean house. I believe Sherman said they need to clean house. And Michael Irvin said they need to clean house, but he's not putting any blame on Dak, any blame on CeeDee Lamb, any blame on Michael Parsons, these star players who is about to demand a big bag because it's pay year. They didn't perform well. Like at the end of the day, a coach's job is to put together game plans, to manage a team, to be the overseer of the coordinators, to adjust. Mike McCartney pretty much did everything he did yesterday. But Mike McCartney cannot go on that field and execute. Don't look at the stats sheet and say Dak played a good game. Dak did what he always does. Come in trash time and just start throwing the ball when the defense already then, slacked up because they up 48-16. At halftime, the score was 27-7. The game was over. Dak had 2 interceptions. I believe 1 or no touchdown. He was a complete dud yesterday. Just like CeeDee Lamb. Now, at the end of the game, like I say, the stat sheet will fool you because he had over 100 yards, I believe 9 or 10 catches. But when it counted, he had 7 catches for 51 yards and no TDs. These are the big-name players. And every time the stars are bright, this is what happens. And we want to blame everybody but Dak. Dak is not the answer. It doesn't matter if you bring Belichick in. It doesn't matter if you bring Jim Harbaugh in. It doesn't matter who you bring in as the head coach. Whether y'all until the quarterback is replaced, until I ain't gonna say replace CeeDee Lamb because he's a receiver, right? So that's another story. But he didn't get open when he was supposed to get open. He did not perform well when the lights were bright. But with Dak, this is a reoccurring thing. Dak is just like Tony Romo. They great regular season quarterbacks, but when the lights are bright, when the pressure is on them, they cannot perform. This happens over and over again. Now, Jerry's getting older. He lost multiple years with Tony. And now they saying, and he's losing he's using a lot of years with Dak, and everybody's saying, like Mike Irvin, we're not getting rid of Dak. Where do we go? Listen, it's time for a quarterback rebuild. Whether you're going to go to Trey Lance and see what he got, get somebody out of the draft, free agency, it is time to start a new rebuild, a new chapter with the quarterbacks in Dallas. It's that year for his contract. I would not renew Dak. I would let Cooper Rush play, see what he can do, but I would be in the offseason. I would go ahead and let Dak go in free agency. And he'll get a job because his numbers and analytics majority of the time. That's how you get contracts off analytics. So somebody would give him a shot, but this is the light's too bright for him in Dallas. Like Romo. Like I said, him and Romo are great regular season quarterback. What their issue is, they can't handle pressure. And they got people in life like that, man. I tell people all the time, everybody in life cannot handle pressure, bro. Some people perform well under pressure. I always been one of those people who pride myself, and thank God for giving me that character strength, that I perform better under pressure. I'm not letting nobody down. But most people, not all, most people are not that way. Most people cannot, no matter what level you on, if it's something small, something big, they cannot perform well under pressure. And that is the same way as Romo. They're a great regular season quarterback when nothing matters, but when it's time to matter, when the light bright, they can't perform well because they can't handle pressure. It's time to move on from Dak. Dak is the problem in Dallas. Now, we can do this whole thing again, as you see on the screen. We can play this game year. I love Jerry. Hate the Cowboy, but love Jerry. He getting up in age. I don't know what his health is. Seems like he's fine. But I would love to see him win the Super. Even though I hate that, I would love to see him win the Super Bowl just for the simple fact that would be for him, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you. About 5 weeks ago in the season, I'm gonna be honest, and I've never come to this conclusion ever in my life. But about 5 weeks ago in the season, I said to myself, this might be their year. They playing so well on all cylinders. I say this might be Dallas Cowboys' year. I'm talking about, if you know how much I hate Dallas Cowboys, for me to come to that conclusion, that was a major, that was major. And once again, the same thing happened. It's time to move on from Dak. Dak is the problem. Dak is the problem in Dallas. Until Dak is replaced, we're going to have the same cycle that you see on the screen. This cycle is going to keep repeating, keep repeating. We need to, like I said, I would name Cooper Rush the starter. I would have an open competition in the offseason with Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. I would look toward the draft for free agents for another quarterback. If I can get a big name, I would. Maybe I can make a trade. But at this point, it's time for a change to be made at the quarterback position. If not, this the cycle that you see on the screen will happen next year, the year after next, as long as Dak in the driver's seat. You know, I remember a couple of years ago, about 10, maybe it was a little longer than that, probably about 15 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but they had a big trade in the middle of the season. I mean, I don't know if it was in the middle of the season, and not Dallas, Chicago Bears and Denver Broncos made a big trade that, was a big trade. Traded their starting quarterback, Randy Orton, for Jay Cutler. Sent Jay Cutler to Chicago and sent Randy Orton to Denver. Maybe they need to do something like that. Maybe they need to make a big trade from starting quarterbacks and say trade Dak to, let me see who could fit good in Dallas. I'm going to be honest, Dak and Kirk Cousins is the same person. We not going to, or maybe, you know what? Maybe send Dak to Detroit and get Jared Goff. Jared Goff is very underrated. He's a great quarterback, and as we know, he can take you to the promised land. Although he didn't get to win, but he did go to the promised land. Jared Goff is not no top 5 quarterback, but he ain't no bum. He not average. He above average. I would say he a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and he's extremely underrated. Make a trade like that, or trade Dak for, let me see, Trevor Lawrence. Get Trevor Lawrence over there. Send Dak to Jacksonville. And Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to say he's overrated. I think Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert is overrated. They're not winners. They haven't proved to win. We can say whatever you want about their coaches, but they just not proven winners yet. And they get overrated, get all this old. But to me, they both overrated. They're good quarterback, but they average in my opinion. But trade them, like either do a starting quarterback for starting quarterback, but do what you got to do. Dak must be replaced now. If not, this cycle will keep repeating every year. And I ain't gonna hold y'all. I just wanted to say that, man. And like I said, I will be talking about sports on this channel here and there. Cause like I said, this sports video can put me in the algorithm and get somebody to my channel and hear about prison stories. Change their whole life after they hear these prison stories I'm about to talk about. And they don't want to go there after they hear that. Change their whole life when it comes to politics. A lot of things they don't know about politics. It's election year. This video can cause traffic to come to them and see something about politics. All of the solutions that I have on my channel, because as I said, this is a self-help, solution-based, solution-oriented channel geared toward the black community, black America. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I ain't gonna hold you. I just wanted to say that about Dallas, man. Dallas got a pretty good team. They got a decent defense. They have a win now Super Bowl team. It's one piece missing, and it's one of the most important pieces, and that's the quarterback. Somebody like Aaron Rodgers, man, they would go over there overnight. Tom Brady, these type of players, they would go over there and make these people a Super Bowl. They'll take them to the Super Bowl overnight. But Dak, just not that guy. And as long as he in the driver's seat, y'all gonna continue to crash. So Dallas Cowboy fans, don't blame Jerry. It's not Mike McCarthy's fault. He cannot execute on the field. Your star players did not play well when the lights was bright last night. And the number one player whose fault it is the head, Dak Prescott. He getting all the money. He's the quarterback, and we know he's a grown up in the room. He's a quarterback. He have all the intangibles. But when the light's bright and it's time to put it all on the field, he never show up. So do what y'all want, but don't blame Mike. Don't blame nobody. Blame y'all quarterback. And Jerry, I know you might not hear this video, but if you just so happen to, or somebody who know you just so happen to, Dak is not down. So you know it, I know it, and the world know it. Let's stop playing games. Thank y'all for listening. God bless. And y'all come back. I have a series I do every other Wednesday called Prison Stories. I have a series I do every Friday called Freestyle Friday, where I talk about all kind of issues. I'm in the process now of growing this channel. And when the channel get to where, there's a lot of people, I'm going to do Freestyle Friday live where we can bring in people and talk about topics and I can get them the solution for their problems. And when I say give them the solution for their problems, use the wisdom that God gave me to dissect their situation, put it back together and see how I can make it work for them. And yeah, so that's what we doing over here, man. And I thank y'all for watching.